Tango, Tango, you can't go in the kitty bucket because Stan Lee is up there. And he might not be in the mood. What are you doing? What is it with cats and drinking water? Hello, welcome to my tube. My name is Marge. I'm Hilka. I'm Path. I just like having these little talks, conversations, whatnot, on how I feel about things and being empath. Feelings are a surplus. Cat's over here, and he's like, I've always had cats that have like peculiarities with drinking water. Like they do weird, I don't know. I love cats. I love critters. I love animals. They're our extended family, and just sad when our time with them comes to an end. I'm seeing a lot of people there, with this whole people, it's bad enough. Life is hard enough, at the Highlanded 10. Hey, Nate. All the stuff that's imposed upon us, The world is contrived. We lived in a world of contrivity. It's made up, man. It's all scripted. It's all projected. It's all forecasted. It's all trended projections. It's all, did I say preemptive? There's just synonyms. I'm just coming up with synonyms of and a big part of the awakening, I see it, or number one, people are waking up to the fact that they are spiritual beings having a human experience, and number two, that the world is contrived. I like that word. I love words, man. If you like words, I told Philip, he's this astrologer, I sent him an instant message on Instacrap, because I listened. He was one of Lady Duchovny's, one of her astrologers, and I think he's down in Mexico someplace tootling around, and young guy, doesn't have any responsibilities, nothing weighing him down, free to go. Just good for you, dude. And he mentioned that he loves words. He and wordsmiths and stuff like that. I love word whimsy. I'm all about the word whimsy. I just love words, People having fun, just communicating in a positive way. And then people have to get all stupid and manipulative with their words and whatever. So, it's been a wild couple days here. Oh, I was talking about how I like the word contrived. Now this is what I did when I named what did I do with my stupid phone? I gotta turn down the volume. I got freaking Kenny Loggins blowing in my ear, and I don't really want it. Hold on just a sec. I just had it. It's too loud. I guess I could turn it down on this, huh? I'll just turn it down here. But it has my definition. It has my screenshots on it. That's why I was looking for it. Ah! Hi, baby girl. I'm not a scary one. You're the scary one. No, you're the scary one. Found it. So we're all pretty much just points. The point in time. We're aspects. We're little pockets of energy that behave and navigate through life based on the time we were born. What's the matter? Nobody's anywhere around you. You can sit anywhere you want. And more people are. It's just I've seen this happen for as long as I've done videos, and I never really I was in the world of IT, so I wasn't thinking about that side of YouTube. I was too busy doing other stuff. I was collecting data in different places. There's Tango. He's got the squishy chair. We got Stan Lee, the lady that does my foot detox, gave me a cat pillow. She makes quilts. She's in a quilting club. Women get together and make quilts and talk about how they feel about things. And she gave me a pillow last time. So Stan Lee's been sleeping up there, and so like Tango's like moved up in the ranks. Great kitty. He stays out till dark. He's gone all day. I think he's out there catting around, and then he'll be in a dark. Anyway. So one of the things that I am redundant on in my message is that everybody gets a chance to experience everything. And if it's not in this incarnation, it's one that you've had in previous incarnations. And if you haven't had one, you know, or if it's stuff. See, I think when people have irrational fears, maybe it's like, you know, like when people have an irrational fear of like dying in a fire. I had one of those when I had so many when I was a kid. I had so many. And then as I got older, I resolved what those fears came from. And that's how you get past it. And it lightens your load and you become a less fearful person. Ideally, you know, as you get older, you get tools to cope with things and situations in life and how, you know, learn how to handle stuff. Well, that's how it was for me. That's how it was for me. My point of origin, planted that seed in me. And so everybody's going to have a chance to, you know, experience everything in all ways and form, all the nasty to all the most glorious, you know, the greatest of love story, you know, whatever it is, everybody, you know, I look at as collective consciousness, because ultimately there's only so many experiences that people can have before you run out of experiences. Granted, excuse me, people are weird and peculiar and come up with weird ideas, because there's this storyline of people doing weird, twisted shit to take shortcuts. You know, instead of being the faithful, devoted, you don't hurt people, you don't take advantage of people, you don't cause harm to human beings, and you help those around you. Well, no, there's those that think that there's the dark side of that, the shadow side of that, and all the people that are living their narratives, you know, contriving our world so that they can sustain their lifestyle of darkness and grossness. Yep. And the truth always comes out. Truth always comes out. I trimmed my hair yesterday. Can you tell? And it sucks because I'm like in the mirror. It's wet. I'm in the mirror. And I'm like, and I'm left-handed. But I don't have no left-handed scissors to cut my hair. So I'm trying to freaking do it right, you know. I used to be a hair snob. I used to be like, you know, get my hair cut every 9 days or 2 weeks or whatever it was, like pretty much on clockwork, because haircut Saturday, you know, it was like every 2 weeks, haircut Saturday. I'm a sucker, man. I've been a sucker my whole life. I'm not going to stop. That's what us fools do, you know. But we kind of pave the way. We kind of make it easier. I was like, always wanted like those little, I never went to a lot of weddings when I was a little kid. But if I was one of those, I was always the one that was out there like dancing, you know? Like if there was music, it didn't matter who was around. Like we'd go to the movie theater. I'm 3 years old and I go up and I lay in the front in the aisle and on my stomach and I'm like I'm on the living. I just always, you know, did things different. And so if people didn't like how I behaved, they would bust out with, that's against the rules. That's against the rules. I'm like, whose rules? What rules? What, you know, give me the stature, you know, tell me the number, give me the name of the person who came up, you know, because they just make stuff up, right? Because it's all contrived. It's all contrived. And if you don't know what contrived means, let me help you out. That's all right. There's a lot of words I don't know what they mean. You know, deliberately created rather than arising naturally or spontaneously. See, I look at mainstream media. I look at the stories that are there. I'm like, yeah, probably. You know, there's probably people that had an account of that happening. You know, that witnessed that. And people die by these means. And then I think of how people are set up with certain pressures that create aggravations and stressors, and how the system has been creating these stressors for eons and eons, and how I'm excited that maybe things will change. You know what I'd like to see when people are under a duress and like going postal or whatever that word, and they're freaked out, having somebody come in and just be like, dude, tell me how you feel. Like, what's going on in your life right now? Like, let's go get a sandwich, We'll share a bag of frickin' chips or something, sit by the creek, get a soda, and let's just talk about some shit, rather than the person getting mulled over and bowled over and stuff like that. I mean, supposedly this is the era, this is the age of healing and all this stuff, supposedly. So maybe we'll see more and more of the evidence of that. I was watching a channel earlier, there's this dude came across, New Mexico citizen. He's got like 10,000 subscribers. He was just doing a live. He goes down the courthouse, right? And I watched part of it. Because I get busy. I got stuff to do. So I can't. I mean, I'm listening to stuff, but, watching a guy walk around, do stuff, I'll listen to music. or something like that. So I didn't listen to a lot. But if you watch the replay, I'm in there chatting, hashtag stop buying fat cops new trucks. Anyway, so this lady is like becoming unhinged. Now, I said in the chat I'd talk about this on my live too. So it's the title was New Mex. It's Taos County Courthouse, and it's the New Mexico citizen, and it's just. These people, they sit in their offices and they stuff their faces and they watch their freaking Netflix and YouTube videos and stuff like that. And then the phone rings and they're like, no, I can't answer it because I'm too busy. So, I want to see what it says. Oh, it's one of those. That's cool, thanks. I don't like those bots. See, I've been in IT for a lot of years, and they're just with the weird. Thanks for that, Landed 10, with the weird prefixes and stuff, and they're just stupid and they're annoying and so thanks for that. That stuff is just weird. It's new it's not new, but it's new in the mainstream. I'm starting to see a lot more of them, which just tells me that the collective consciousness is changing, that things are evolving. That was. What other screenshots did I have? So I told him, the New Mexico citizen. That's what I was talking about. And he went and because he's not wearing a mask, and it's just like he's like I watched the first part of it because I remember seeing this stuff. But he was walking around talking to people for like an hour and a half. So I'm in there about the 10-minute mark. You got this guy, and I'm like, dude, see, that's the thing is I spend time to stay fit, and I'm putting more effort into my diet and stuff like that, because like things hurt and they hurt less if I'm active and things like that. So don't fucking have somebody come like this that looks like this and talk to me about doing something for my health. And you know what? They're so manipulative. Right? You probably tell your kids, if you have kids, do what I said, if you're good, we'll go to McDonald's and we'll get a milkshake and French fries. If you're good, I'll reward you. Somebody needs to be rewarded a lot, right? And then come at me and talk to me about what I need to do to maintain health. And then they come out and they use words like, but you have to be respectful. You have to be You don't know what I've been through. I was raped at I was 10-month-old baby. I've been a part of a world, in the real world, where people have said that stuff doesn't happen. The world is opening their eyes open to the fact that it happens. And a lot of people have made a lot of money and had a lot of parties and gotten really fucked up doing that kind of stuff. Right? So people are waiting. This stuff happens. My hip still pops. I read the police report. when I was in junior high. And you know what? Nobody ever in my family say it never happened. It didn't happen. I read the police report, you know? So, but it's all that gaslighting stuff, you know? Okay, it was so weird when I remember, I'll never forget when I read that police report, I was like, you know, penetration by male adult, you know, to 10-month-old adolescent female, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, that's me. That's why my hip pops. You know, you know, it like things click, right? Human beings are animals, and I grew up watching like Mutual Omaha and all these animal shows where you see how animals like take down other animals. Some animals take down their own species. You know, it's just something that's in. So, you know, either people have it, things have it, that vibrational frequency, or they don't. And I've had that. And as I've ascended and lightened my load of my burdens, of my soul sack, incarnation after incarnation, I've learned that you can't do that. You know? You can't do that. So I was getting all cause on Twitter today, cause they're demonizing witches and stuff like that, and I don't identify. I don't put myself in any group, organization, none of that stuff. I my own drum, boom, 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 my own drum. So, well, a lot of things that witches do are things that I do. So when I tell people things that I do and things that I like, their mind automatically goes, she's a witch, right? But they don't act, you know, stuff like that, right? So other people people are contriving their reality on to other people all the time. I believe in for every perception, for every integer field, there's a reality and experience of everything that everything is having. You know, and from that point of view and angle, you know, that all things are possible. So I don't really say, no, that doesn't happen. No, that doesn't happen. You don't really, I've done over 1,600 videos, and you don't really see, except when I talk about the generosity of others in a very, very big way. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen, but it's happening more. It's happening in my life. It has happened. I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for the kindness of strangers, because people that I have known, I don't know, they just feel like they just want to see how far down I'll go. I guess. I don't know. People just don't like... and I've heard other people do talks about it. They say that, well, strong people, other people don't like to help strong people because it makes them feel like superior and stuff. I'm like, dude, people that don't like to help people just suck. They suck as much as people that leave their dogs out in sub-zero temperatures, you know, or let their dogs run free. You know, just a certain kind of sucky people. I just think their spirit is less involved. That's all. Huh. What other screenshots did I get? It's been a rough last couple days around here. I like the video I did yesterday. I feel pretty good about that. About that freaking Luis Reyes douche. Makes 200 in that city. And it's, go find out. It's because you can usually just like go to, not Green Door, I don't think they're very reliable, but if you just go to like county offices and stuff like that and look up the high end of what these fuckers are paying themselves to fucking hide people, dodge phone calls, not return emails, you know? You know, it's misappropriation of funds. It's stealing is what they're doing. If people are getting paid, public service, civil servants are getting paid by tax people's money and you're evading your job, that's dereliction of duty. Y'all should be fucking fired, man. You know, nothing's getting done anyway, so if your fat ass ain't sitting in the chair not answering phones, who fucking cares, right? Anyway, what else? I had all these things I was going to talk about today. I've all been on my emotions because, well, Sass is very near her transition. Whereas there's certain things that people and animals do when their life transitions, and And it's like it's always a very intimate experience every time that I go through it. And I'm somewhat of a death Abdullah. I used to find like animals that were still alive. They were still alive. They got hit by cars and stuff, and I just sit with them until they take their last breath. Stuff like that, just so they wouldn't be alone. Just let them know. Say, hey, you know what? You experience love in this life because I love you. So it's just part of life, you know. And there's just like it constantly changes and it constantly flows, and you know, it's just things are different now, and we're just very close. But it was a long night. She finally settled down about I don't know about. I was gonna do a talk much earlier. She was talking to the angels, is what I say. I believe that when like the very last part of this life is that our spirits just float around our bodies, you know. And you've heard stories about how people see their loved ones come and greet them, and you know, and escort them and stuff like that. It's also beautiful. I think that animals share that same experience, and so she's been talking to the angels last few days. And it's all right, Tuck. It's okay, baby. It's okay. So you know, so we just love them while we got them, you know, and Mom and I've been, you know, because she always taught me to be direct, and you don't get to sugarcoat stuff, so it's like, you know, but there's no emergency vet around here or anything like that, so we just, but our spirits are kind of go the other way, the more naturalistic, holistic, poach stuff like that, so. You know, she's not in under any duress. She's just resting peacefully until she forever peacefully rests. So, sure, she had some ice cream 2 days ago. That was the last time she ate some food. 2-3 days it's been. So, yeah, I just, you know, and then I get to give myself a break because I tried real hard. I wanted to get us all to our forever home all together. And she's 19 years old. You know, she's been on my mom's lap religiously for last 5 years, you know. And I just are the best of friends. And it took like the first 3 years. This is kind of a funny story. Like when Mom moved out, be with me in 2000 in Omaha. I think it was 2008. I think it was, and she brought Sass along and stuff, and she brought my turkey bird. And I had I had turkey bird actually. She brought Mama Kitty April, you know. And then I had our home, and it was a beautiful home in Omaha, and life happened and things changed, and I really wanted to get us all to our forever home, and I did not succeed. She's not mad at me. She's not mad at me, you know. And a lot of this, it's because when Mom first came out, I was jealous. It took me a couple months. It took me a while to get over my job because I was jealous of the closeness of their relationship because it was a closeness that she and I never shared. You know, and I always struggled with that because I can understand if I can't have the kind of rapport with people that I'd like to have because they are just constitutionally incapable of having that. But it's the weirdest thing. I've just seen my whole life. I've just watched people treat people how I want to be treated, but they don't treat me the same, you know? For whatever, I guess you'd have to ask them. I don't know. So, what do you do? What do you do?
You don't leave people, things, and animals and loved ones at the end, man. I see it all the time. My sweet noble, old videos, like if you go on my oldest ones, we had a dog for a year, and about a year to the about time of the year, we had him for a whole year. So I gave him 4 seasons of a lot of love, and he was a pack dog for a little bit. But I was leaving this girl's house at my landlord's house at the time, and after a long night of drinking, and there's this little dog out there, and his nails are all overgrown and stuff like that, it happens all the time. I was involved pretty closely with dog rescue for, that's how I got 4 dogs. Is and what was I saying? Oh, so we had Noble for a year, and my Noble prize, I think, is what the video's called. I think it might be able to search in my video under my videos and call my Noble prize, or just look for the keyword Noble, and there might be a couple of them. And it was February in. I have a weird thing with Philadelphia because of people I know that live there that are, ugh. And it was like he was taking his last breath in the Super Bowl. It's like Philadelphia. It's like those. I hate sports. It's all contrived. That's contrived too. It's all made up. It's all bullshit. These people freaking, they're plays. Like when I think of playbook, like I think of these football players. They're on. They get paid a lot of money, and they're like no different than the fucking little kindergarten kids with the little lipstick on their nose singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed fucking Reindeer every Christmas. That little pageantry, that little play. It's the same fucking thing, only they're grown-ass men, and they get all roided out and all freaking, toxic masculinity, and fucking go home and throw their wives around and shit like that. And they, and it all gets covered up and buried and cleaners and all that stuff. All for the freaking swinging dick club. And women are in that club too. It's just this grossness. And I'm really freaking sick of it. So there's going off on a tangent there. How long have I been talking about? 28 minutes. I'm about done. So, yeah, somebody dump a little Sweet Noble off. And I see it all the time is people just, they love the animal, but they don't have whatever it is, that love, that gumption, that moxie, whatever. And that's why so many animals get freaking put down a lot of times. There is a lady, in Omaha. It's just stuff like that. It's just people give up just as much on people. But my situation was like, I had an absentee dad, shit like that. I'm one of those. I was basically an orphan with parents, pretty much, and he, God, he's just. And we had a relationship there for a while. I guess out of 48 years, I guess there was probably a period of about 4, 5, 6, because I was in sobriety. And, it's, as long as you do all the work, as long as I did all the work, then we got along just fine. And it was like, it occurred to me on my 40th birthday that he didn't have a plate for me. See, people only have like spinning plates. People only have so much capacity for so many spinning plates, and he didn't have a plate for me, so he dropped that plate, and our relationship shattered. And the beginning of that was around my 40th birthday. He and my brother took me rafting on a trip down Grand Canyon. It was freaking one of the most amazing things I freaking have ever done, and I will for always be grateful. And it was 68. My brother, he was 68. My brother was like, we were sitting around on our cots and stuff, hanging out, talking. He's like, so Dad, you're going to be 70 in a couple years. Now, my dad had a major brain. Both of my parents have had traumatic brain injuries, it's amazing that they're still here. Really remarkable, not to mention freaking the stuff that they did, or were able to accomplish in spite of their physical
limitations and things like that. Anyway, so yeah, when people have head injuries, you don't get the same version. Something happens, things get rearranged. And so he's an Aries dude. He's a highly freaking sexually driven dude. And so my brother's like, "What do you want to do on your, for your set? You want to do a trip?" He's like, "I don't care what I'm doing as long as I'm having sex." And I was like, "Well, I guess I don't got no need to freaking make any special trip out to your birthday because I ain't got no place in that." So it was just so weird. But I never saw my parents as parents. I always saw them as people. I mean, and you kind of see it. I've seen it my whole entire life. You see people that have parents, and then something happens, and then they have experience it's like a switch goes on, because it's always been their mom and dad, their caregiver, their provider, their all, secure, whatever, But when you haven't had those experiences really a whole lot, you just always look them as people. Nothing's exceptional. They're the means of the ways I got to this incarnation, but most of the time I'm like, why? Why couldn't you stay away from each other after the divorce? So, anyway, I think that's all I got about for now. I've been running my mouth long enough. I've been trying to watch some Sheldon for the laugh trap just to keep my freaking spirits high. It's just a gamut. I'm Scorpio moon. Cancer rising, Aries sun, man. I'm full spectrum, man. It's all, and it's just processing and collecting data, processing, sorting, keep the good stuff, don't chuck the rest, all that stuff. Life is life. Make the